Hello, I'm Bakhtiar Sonova and welcome to African News. Let's begin with the headlines. Algeria has begun construction on a key section of the Trans-Saharan gas pipeline to reach Europe. Nigerian security forces have rescued 360 men, women and children from a mountain hideout in Borno State. And Somali security forces say order has been restored in Mogadishu after clashes with opposition-linked militias. The World Health Organization says confirmed Ebola cases have risen to 452 in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and 19 in Uganda. The new wave of virus outbreak has claimed 82 lives in the two countries so far. Health officials reported 100 new infections and 20 deaths in the past 24 hours in both countries. In response, the World Health Organization and the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention have launched a continent-wide preparedness and response plan. The initiative aims to strengthen detection, containment and treatment efforts. It also seeks to raise $518 million to support African countries battling the outbreak over the coming month through November. Algeria has begun construction on a key section of the long-planned Trans-Saharan gas pipeline, a project that could eventually connect Nigerian gas fields to European markets. Supporters say it could transform regional energy trade, though major security and financing challenges remain.
Construction is now underway on Algeria's section of the Trans-Saharan gas pipeline, one of Africa's most ambitious energy infrastructure projects. The pipeline is designed to transport natural gas from Nigeria through Niger and into Algeria, where it would connect to existing export networks supplying Europe. Algerian officials launched work on the latest phase in Adrar province in the country's southwest. The new section will run from the Niger border to the town of Aoulef before linking into Algeria's domestic gas system. Once completed, the project is expected to carry between 20 and 30 billion cubic meters of natural gas every year. The pipeline has been discussed for more than 2 decades, but progress has often been slowed by security concerns, financing difficulties, and political instability along parts of the route. Supporters say the project could deliver economic benefits. It could also increase Algeria's importance as an energy supplier to Europe, particularly as European countries continue to seek more diverse sources of natural gas. However, questions remain over the project's timeline, with security still a concern in parts of Niger and northern Nigeria.
This pipeline will enable the transport of large quantities of natural gas annually from Nigeria through Niger to Algeria, taking advantage of Algeria's advanced gas infrastructure in terms of transport, processing and export to international markets. The Algerian section will play a pivotal role not only in receiving and transporting gas from Nigeria, but also in transporting and processing additional quantities of gas produced in Algeria, especially from promising gas basins, most notably the Unrest Basin, thus strengthening Algeria's position as a regional and international energy hub.
The reason that we have decided to take this bull by the horns is when we look at the implication of this project along the corridors. It will transform into industrialization, job creation, and changing the lifestyle of the continent through this corridor. And of course, at the end, ending in Europe. We are committed to it, and today we have witnessed what is going on here.
Nigeria's security forces have rescued 360 men, women and children from a mountain hideout in the northeastern state of Borno. The group included men, women and children abducted from several communities. The military said they were being held by JAS, the main faction of Boko Haram in the Mandara Mountains. Officials said the rescue followed an intelligence-led operation by a joint task force, including special forces. 2 children died in captivity from exhaustion and harsh conditions. A mother's plea is bringing new urgency to another kidnapping crisis in Nigeria after more than 30 pupils and a teacher were abducted from schools in Oyo State. The attacks have shaken a region once seen as safer than the north, raising fears that armed gangs are widening their reach.
Every day for more than 2 weeks, Aduke Balogun has prayed for her daughter's safe return. Reliving the events of May 15th, she says it was mid-morning when she saw a masked man walking towards the school. Gunfire erupted soon after, and in the chaos, 8-year-old Kosarat was seized and spirited into the bush in southwest Nigeria's Oyo State. She was one of more than 30 students and a teacher kidnapped that day.
Please, please, I am begging the government. We want our children back alive.
The day Balogun's daughter was taken, there were simultaneous attacks on 2 other schools nearby. At the LA primary school, 3 miles away, one teacher was shot dead as he tried to escape through a classroom window, said Lamidi Wahid, a teacher in the school.
If the government do not take action on that area pertaining to the security, I don't think that I can particularly say that nobody will be willing to live in that area again.
The kidnappings have jolted a region long seen as relatively safe compared to more unstable regions further north, and fueled fears that kidnapping for ransom gangs are expanding their operations far beyond traditional hotspots. Oyalinka Ayanlade, the police spokesperson for Oyo State, said authorities hope to resolve the kidnappings peacefully.
There's communication, and the communication is progressing. Well, I will tell you that we are not sparing any effort.
Widespread kidnappings and the ever-expanding presence of armed groups across the country are likely to be key issues in the run-up to Nigeria's next national elections in January. No group has claimed responsibility for the Oyo attacks, but the military has blamed Boko Haram Islamist militants, which usually operate in the northeast. Balogun cannot bear to watch the videos of abducted children that are circulating. She says, "All I want is my daughter."
Somali security forces said on Saturday that order had been restored in 2 districts of Mogadishu. Fighting had broken out between government forces and militias linked to opposition politicians. Military vehicles patrolled the city. Police showed weapons and ammunition they had seized. Banadir Regional Police Commander Mahdi Omar said anyone trying to gain power through weapons would not be accepted. Officials said opposition militias had been disarmed and the situation was calm again. However, local residents said the fighters left mainly after talks led by clan elders. The violence came before planned protests over President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud staying in office after his term ended. Parliament approved changes in March that could extend his mandate and delay elections. Police warned any new armed activity would face strict action. Somalia has been unstable since 1991 and is still fighting the Al-Shabaab militant group. Anti-immigration protests are growing in South Africa, with some groups demanding that undocumented migrants leave the country by the end of June. Rights groups warn that the rhetoric is fueling fear and violence, while authorities pledge action against xenophobic attacks.
Thousands of people gathered in the Benoni area, east of Johannesburg, on June 6th to protest against undocumented migrants living in the community. The demonstration comes amid a new wave of anti-immigration protests across South Africa. Some of the protests this year have turned violent. Victims have described aggressive groups going door to door and demanding that African migrants leave the country. Protesters accuse undocumented migrants of contributing to crime and taking jobs. Analysts and human rights groups reject those claims, arguing that migrants are being blamed for wider problems, including high unemployment, poverty, and ineffective policing. Tensions have increased after an anti-immigration group set a June 30th deadline for undocumented migrants to leave South Africa. The ultimatum has raised concerns that further violence could follow. South African officials have condemned the attacks and pledged to crack down on what they describe as xenophobic acts. According to South Africa's statistics agency, more than 3 million foreign nationals live in the country, accounting for just over 5% of the population. Most come from countries within the Southern African Development Community, including Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi and Somalia.
Hundreds of displaced migrants in South Africa's Western Cape are preparing to return home as a result of similar anti-immigrant protests. Government-backed transport has brought relief to many who spent days waiting in temporary shelters, uncertain about their future.
Government agencies in South Africa have begun transporting displaced migrants out of the Western Cape following a rise in anti-immigrant protests. Buses arranged with support from government officials and diplomatic representatives arrived on June 5th to take migrants home, including many returning to Malawi. Those sheltering in a community hall said they were relieved after days of uncertainty. Malawian migrant Moses Khalilwembe said the arrival of the buses had given people hope.
I think that maybe we're not going back to Malawi from the peace. We are going to follow the peace, not the economic status as we are here. Because we are here in South Africa. We are here because of job seeking, and we think that we are earning our living as basic needs and to provide to support our family in Malawi. See, unfortunately, we are chased away to go back to our countries.
I'm very happy today because I'll go back to home. Thanks very much, South African people, South African people. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you very much.
Community members say recent unrest has left many foreign nationals fearful for their safety and unsure about their future in South Africa. The buses are expected to carry migrants back to their home countries in the coming days.
That's all we have today on Africa News. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to A News for continued coverage.